Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man who wrote all R2-D2's jokes, Craig Charles.
Imagine it's ancient Rome. It's a Sunday afternoon. You've washed your chariot, you've ironed your togas, and now you're off down the amphitheatre to watch grown men get butchered. OK, so the ancient Romans enjoyed some pretty barbaric entertainment. But back then, it was just like the footy. Only Roman gladiators never advertised shampoo, even if all that was left of them was their head and shoulders. And I suppose it's a bit like Robot Wars. Although our gladiators don't wear skirts, they wear titanium-plated body armour. And they don't fight for honour either. They fight for a place in our series semi-finals. Yes, it may be savage, but it's still drawn in the crowds. Phillipa, who's getting thrown to the lions this week?
Yeah, welcome to the pits. We're fast realising why it is called the pits, because here are some familiar faces to you. What have you got to say to us, guys? Do you remember them, Forrester?
1, 2, 3.
We are the crew, and we're here to tell you we're going to bash them. We're going to trash them. In the wars, you know, we're going to thrash them.
The forecast bad.
You better get running.
It's going to be tough. There's a Plunderstorm coming.
OK, so that's what they're aiming for in this heat. Oh, I'm just aiming to have my ears fixed. This is Zeus. It runs on... Remember Get Busy with the Fizzy? That's what their weapons run on. It's fantastic. They've got a thing, and they're going to inflict loads of damage. And this is Scutter's Revenge, who claim that they have the most extreme motors. Motors, am I right? Yeah. Most extreme motors we've ever seen yet on Robot Wars. They have to prove it, though. That's the thing. The moment you've all been waiting for. This is the new revamped Cassius 2 with the new revamped team. They're an amalgamation now. Rex, I don't know. Where's Rex gone? He's just disappeared. Typical, he's off everywhere. It's got the Phillipa, as before, and it's also got a secret weapon in there. Wait until you see that. That's very exciting. This is Pussycat. Ah, but she's not nice, is she?
No, she's more of a slicer than a nicer.
A slicer than a nicer. She flips down and then gets the willing victim with a circular saw. And then this is Hammerhead. Nothing to do with the shark, but just as lethal as the shark might be. If sharks were always lethal, but they're not. They're very nervous creatures, actually. Before I start on that, they've got a hammer and a spike and a scooper. So you're very confident, aren't you? Quietly. And look at this. This is Dundee, as in crocodile. Dundee, tell me about what this does.
The teeth pulls the victim in, the mouth comes down, and this cutter chops him in half.
And gnashes them to death. The victim.
Victim.
The victim is gnashed to death.
Gnashed to death.
So there's loads of violence in this heat. Yeah.
Hope so, Phillipa. Sharks are nervy, are you sure? Hammerhead's jaws against the Pussycat's claws. That's how the battle board begins. Rex Garrard, Robotier legend with Cassius 2 against Crocodile Dundee. The Plunderstorm rappers against Lobster Thermidor. Zeus with their thing against the extremely mean Scutter's Revenge team.
I'd say don't try this at home. But who's got a high-tech arena with a flame pit in their living room? Not me. Let the wars begin.
From Barnstable, Hammerhead.
The name comes from the interchangeable axe Hammerhead weapon, powered by a car starter motor. This is quick, well protected by 3mm alloy with steel bracing. Could this be a Hammerhead shark?
Hi, I'm Mike. It's my brother Paul. And here's our robot Hammerhead. We've got twin electric motors, 4-wheel drive, and also scoop our opposition up, and then we'll aim to finish them with a hammer.
From Gloucester, Pussycat.
A diamond saw gives this Pussycat some bite. A plastic body shell could be a problem if they're thrown to the dogs of war. Cost £1,000 to build over 2 months. And they're back from the previous series when they had Body Hammer. And there you can see the changes from last year. No wheels on Body Hammer. Speed controls would be virtually the same. There was a flail weapon and a circular saw. But manoeuvrability was a problem. It got stuck in the gauntlet, and out came Killalot to finish it off. Much more manoeuvrable this time around, and they'll be hoping for better things.
It's our robot Pussycat, and I'm Robin, that's David, and there's Robert. It's quite an unusual design, as you can see, because it's got an aluminium body, some polycarbonate, 4 wheels, 1 diamond-coated saw. The idea is that the whole thing flips over. It can flip either way, and it just keeps going, hoping to do quite a lot of damage.
Robotiers, stand by.
Hammerhead, a speed machine up to 14 miles an hour. Brothers Paul and Mike Brent want to be racing car drivers. And Pussycat, with Robin Herrick, the captain there in the middle.
Activate.
A strange-looking Pussycat. Now there you can see rolling forward to bring the circular saw into play, and the circular saw immediately attacking the side of Hammerhead, which looks ponderous at the moment. Sparks begin to fly. They're in the Pussycat controls, they're purring. And again, the cat here, whoa! Using not talons and claws, but the circular saw, but the Hammerhead great hammer came down. And again, quite a wise tactic. Let's attack the arena floor, boys. No, 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 it's not the idea. You attack the other robot and the house robots, not the arena floor. And now they're stuck. And the Pussycat team could come in here and wreak havoc. Pushing and shoving and bumping Hammerhead. Hammerhead digs in. Traction on the arena floor. It's Pussycat doing all the pushing, all the attacking. Ooh, meow! Meow! You could be in pain, Hammerhead, if you go into that pit! And into the pit goes the shark! The Hammerhead plunges to the depths!
Well, there's pause for thought. Pussycat wins.
We had a bit of a hammer problem.
But your robot's called Hammerhead. You're meant to make sure you don't have any hammer problems.
Yeah, well, it was unforeseen. We hadn't had enough practice on other robots, you see.
I think the set wood was too soft. I think that's the excuse.
We were smashing the setup, I think.
The set wood was too soft.
Yeah.
We had a problem with our hammer. It was unforeseen. We didn't have enough
We nearly
practice.
ripped your set to bits. We scored it all up.
Oh, another one.
Well,
Another
because we were
excuse.
dragging, you see. We were dragging a hammer
was dug
behind
in the
us.
ground
I mean,
all the time.
I'm kind of waiting for two words. We lost. Yes, thank you very much. I don't want the excuses, I just want the two words.
It was a pretty good show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Come in, come in, come in.
No small part to our driver, thanks to our driver.
Well, it was pretty stunning. It used all the implements that it had. It did everything that you wanted it to do.
That was my fault.
It did better than you thought.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fantastic. Congratulations. You're a little bit shocked, aren't you?
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Go and relax, but do get ready for the next bout. Pussycat performed fantastically well.
Hang on, Hammerhead didn't have enough practice against other robots. What were they practicing against? Pussycat go through, next up Cassius 2 against Dundee.
From Suffolk, Cassius 2.
The long-awaited appearance of the runner-up from the last series, Cassius and Rex Gower, a flip-up paddle and CO2-powered rear spike the weapons. Motors from lawnmowers. Can this cut the rest down to size? And what innovations, what surprises this time around? Because in the last wars, Cassius stunned us all. The first ever appearance of a SREMEC, a self-riding mechanism. Cassius 2, the favourite to win the wars because of agility and ability like that. Fantastic roly-poly style. But then met panic attack in the final. And we're beaten.
My name's Rex Gower and this is my crew. Mick Cutter, Simon West. And this is my robot, Cassius 2. It's much faster, much lighter, got a more effective weapon at the back, which is a ram which protrudes about 3/4 of a metre. The enormous power, should be quite a lethal weapon. And of course it still does its famous flip, and it has air suspension. And that's about it.
From Bristol, Dundee.
Drive chains from a car, teeth chains from a hospital hoist. The mainframe's a physio's couch. The bodywork comes from freezers. They plundered everything from here to Dundee. Enough to drive anyone loco, and that's how they appeared in the last wars. And would you believe it? They were drawn against Cassius then. They're against Cassius 2 now. And that's not lucky for them. Rolled up and over. Going loco, but not in Acapulco. On the arena floor. And it wasn't the locomotion too long.
My name's Eric Mannion. I'm part of the Dundee team with Richard Mannion, my son, and Charles Humphreys, his friend. Built mainly of scrap material. Probably has taken us about 3 months to build. The idea of the teeth is to actually draw the opponent into the disc cutter. The disc cutter is actually mounted on the top part of the jaw, which also lifts and lowers, which should be able to tip an opponent or push them over.
Roboteers, stand by.
Another change for Cassius 2 this time around. Mick Cutter there on the right was with the Chaos team in the last series. And there's Dundee.
3,
with
2,
Dad Eric Mannion,
1.
Richard his son, and Charles Humphreys. And it's the Croc that comes rocking out of the starting traps first. Cassius using the big Phillipa. Ooh, and immediately driven here. Cassius into Killalot's claws. The great lance and the drill and the pincer of Killalot, but away, Cassius, and using good speed too.